Parkinson's is more than a tremor. Everything you take for granted, this disease will strip away that. I was full of hope, but I had this disease which unfortunately none of the doctors were able to really identify. It was a very hard time because I was in law school, you had to work very hard. There are also a lot of social functions. I was not diagnosed, but I was fully symptomatic. When I was 22 years old, people have started to comment about the way I walked. They were asking questions about my gait. Over the course of time, I realized that it's been getting even more difficult for me to walk and do basic physical things. It took the doctors over nearly 10 years to diagnose me. I was essentially robbed of my 20s. Getting diagnosed with Parkinson's was to me a blessing and also a realization and finally a confirmation of what I had. Typically when I say Parkinson's, for most people they consider it to be an old person's disease. What is probably lesser known is Parkinson's is also pretty common within the younger demographics as well. You cannot always moderate the amount of dopamine that's in your body. When the dopamine is not well regulated, I would sometimes freeze up, experience bouts of paralysis. The medication would also produce some side effects such as fatigue, whereby I'm engaged in one activity and then over the course of a few minutes I feel very sleepy and have the urge to just take a nap. That can be initially quite obstructive. Where I do get a bit of frustration is telling others I have Parkinson's and then they tell me no, I don't. I've done a number of medical tests. I've had probably the best doctors in the world confirm that it's Parkinson's. There's no denial about it. The biggest challenge with living with Parkinson's is the unpredictability. But the way I see it is, just like every person, every lawyer probably has their own personal challenges that they're going through. And for me, Parkinson's is just one of those. It's a matter of me setting realistic expectations for myself. I tell myself, look, this is a career which is not a sprint, it's a marathon. I remember when I took my medication the first time, the levocarb, I felt a sensation that I did not feel for nearly a decade, and that was my heel being able to just naturally go onto the ground and be able to make a proper step. It really felt good to finally be able to experience how I normally walk. I would say the hardest part about living with Parkinson's is probably the fear that what if the medication all of a sudden does not work. I got connected to Parkinson's Society through my good friend. In terms of support groups, there is currently a young onset Parkinson's group. We all share this common trait, but you also get to compare notes and you basically give each other hope and motivation and inspiration. I was diagnosed at age 30, but the dreams that I wanted to pursue, at that time I already had Parkinson's. The only difference was that at the time I did not know I had Parkinson's. When I'm going through some rough times, I always remind myself, well, this is nothing compared to when you were in first year law school, when you were dealing with the full-blown symptoms of Parkinson's. I've learned to accept that it's a disability, but it's also an integral part of who I am. I see my Parkinson's almost the same way as I see sort of my nearsighted vision, which is with the right medication, with management, I could manage the symptoms that would otherwise debilitate me. And if I manage them well, I'm able to live a fulfilling and full life.